on our way for our date day. And no, she's not next to me. She is behind me. Somewhere over there. She's behind me. Because she has something else to do after this. But you know what's funny is that a lot of people don't have dates anymore because you're thinking of she's there. You're thinking of the babysitter, especially if you have a big family like us. If you're thinking of the babysitter, you're like, man, I just can't, just having a hard time finding somebody that can watch 6 kids. And so one of the things that we started doing is just date day. And when you're an entrepreneur, you just have a little bit more flexibility. And so the funny thing with date day, and again, Mallory's listening, so it's going to be interesting to see what she says after. But is this. One, we create a container, which is a place that is sacred for both of us, which means no phone. We're not going to touch our phone, and we're going to have conversation. And some conversations are going to be colliding conversation, which means that she might not like the conversation, I might not like the conversation, right? But it's a place where we're both going to create space for one another to be able to have conversations, to be able to ask tough questions, to be able to make sure that we are both heard, and not a place to teach, not a place to coach, not a place to trying to give feedback unless feedback is asked, but a place to be able to reconnect with each other, especially when you have a life as crazy and busy as our life is. And the older the kids get, the more I realize how crazy this life is, right? Maybe the older I get, maybe the more grades I get, but the more I start to realize like how crazy our life is. And so those moments are non-negotiable moments, right? Right now she's gonna have a very long weekend, ahead of her. Obviously I'm gonna be there with all the kids, minus probably one. And there's basketball tournaments and all that kind of stuff. But we make sure to have this time together to be able to reconnect and to be able to continue to build so that we don't lose each other along this process, right? Because sometimes when you feel weak or you feel sad, you don't really want to have conversations. And so you hide. And I remember doing this so many times where I just don't feel strong, or I don't feel like I've had any achievements. And so even at home, I just did not want to have conversation. I just wanted to go in and just be by myself and hide, right? Until I feel like I've accomplished something, then I show back up. But then at those moments, you're just losing, precious moments, right? Because life is just made of all those moments. The good one, the bad one, the ups, the down, the lot of money, no money, the sick, not sick, or sick, healthy, right? All those different pit to peak moments, inside of your life. And so if that's you watching and you're, a married entrepreneur, dads with a big family, I'll just encourage you to make that a non-negotiable. Find a day inside of your week where you can have time with your spouse. Just you and her. Create a container. That means the rules that you're going to have, the belief that you're guys going to have inside of those conversations, the laws and regulation, where you can both be safe to be able to express, to be able to be heard, because otherwise the gap is going to get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and eventually you're just going to lose each other. And that's something that happens a lot just in marriage. But when you're an entrepreneur, there's even a greater level of separations that happen, right? Because you make all of the decisions. You know the foundation of your business. You know all the different things that are happening, and so you're consistently thinking. And sometimes you can be so in your head thinking of business that you forget that you do have a family, you do have kids, and you do have value outside of your business, right? Yesterday I talked about the 3 challenges that married entrepreneur dads with big families have. 1 is internal, right? Is internal challenges. 2, there's external challenges. And 3, there are psychological challenges that you have, right? And I went a little more, a little deeper in each one of them. So I encourage you to go in and listen to that video, because you might identify some places where you're like, yeah, I'm just really struggling with this one, right? And if that's you, tonight at around 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, I'm gonna have a masterclass just addressing those challenges, just a little deeper, about 90 minutes or so, and kind of vehicle that you can use to be able to conquer them. So if that's you, just go in the link in the bio, and you can register for that masterclass. It's a free one, 90 minutes, and no, it's not a bunch of slides or anything like that. That's not how I do it. I like to use my beautiful sketching to be able to share. So if that's you, go in the link in the bio, and I'm out. About to make this exit and get started and put this phone away.